this past Saturday, me and about six buddies were hanging out, and we were talking about the dating market, and all but one of them was single. And one of the guys had brought up the question about what to do if you think that you found the one, but she isn't returning your calls. And so, first, I want to recognize so both men and women have been here. They have found themselves in this predicament. It's to navigate this on both directions is a little bit difficult because it can be different for both. But let's just role play here for a minute. The person who wants the other one the most is the one who's typically leading the relationship. And so one of the most important things that you want to be looking for, I want to talk to men for a minute, is a woman who adores you. A woman who, in some sense, likes you more than you like her. And I don't mean that you like her less, but her love and appreciation and adoration for you is higher. And to where she's the one doing most of the chasing and wanting to spend time with you. Those are some very healthy, good signs. And you as a man, you should be busy, and not to say that women shouldn't be either, but particularly I think we're in a crisis of a lot of men who aren't necessarily living up to where they want to be in life. And so I think I've had very interesting conversations with women in relationships, and I've had these numerous times when I've asked a woman how her relationship is going. One of the biggest complaints, most common complaints, is that her boyfriend or their husband just is too available, constantly checking in on them, constantly seeing how they're doing, constantly texting them, asking them where they're at, things like that just come across as needy, and it's a turnoff for women. And I'm sorry, guys, but it really is. And so his question was, he thinks he found the one, but she isn't returning his calls, and in essence, they've basically broken up. What can he do to bring her back? And maybe that's you. Maybe you found the guy of your dreams, or maybe you found the woman of your dreams, and for whatever reason, it didn't work out, or it hasn't worked out like you had hoped. Maybe you had one great date and you can't get a second, or maybe you had two and you can't get three, or maybe you had 2 months of a relationship or longer, and for whatever reason, things have disintegrated. I would say first and foremost, you've got to delete their phone number from your contacts, because in very vulnerable times, it becomes really easy to convey your feelings to them over and over again, which again dilutes the absence. You know, the old adage, absence makes the heart grow fonder. In fact, one of the guys there had brought up that quote. But you really have to separate yourself from the individual, because that's the only the possibility of it actually turning back around. And so one of the terms is they typically say spin more dates or spin more plates, which in essence means get out there more, have more dates, enjoy the company of women more, enjoy the company of men more. And it doesn't necessarily, and it shouldn't mean that you're sleeping around with a bunch of people, but sometimes just getting out there and having adult conversations with somebody of the opposite sex can lower the anxiety that you have around the person that you want but you can't have. And it also shows you the abundant opportunity that there is for potential other suitors. And so I would say that, first of all, delete the phone number and move on. You have to move on. And then secondly, you have to begin to expose yourself to a larger pool of opportunities. Remind yourself that this isn't the only woman in the world. This isn't the only man in the world. The term I've heard often used is you have a case of what's called one-itis, and where you assume this is the only person that I will ever meet like this in my life. And it's not, because the one person that you want to meet at this stage, as you're trying to re-enter the dating market, is the one person who will want a relationship with you as bad as you want one with them. That's the true ideal relationship, not one where you really, really want one with them and you don't know why. It could happen down the road again. It could very well turn around, but it's not going to happen by you constantly pursuing them and them running. It's going to happen by you backing away. In fact, one of the terms that I've heard used is that when a woman has indicated that she wants to end a relationship with you, that you quote an old country song that basically says something along the lines of, "There's so much about you that I'm going to miss, but best wishes." And just move on. Take a deep breath. Understand that it does suck if you really have finally found somebody that you enjoy their company, you enjoy the way they look, the way they smell. But I promise you, it isn't the only one. There are other opportunities out there, and you have to begin to expose yourself to them. So you have to move on. You have to let things go, let them rest where they are, and just see what happens through life circumstances. You never know. There are plenty of stories in where they went different directions, two people, and they ended up right back to where they started, back with each other. But you're going to really cure this by just having exposure to other people and moving on and enjoying life. So that's my encouragement to you if you're suffering through that. If you're having a difficulty finding your first date, third date, trying to maintain a relationship, trying to start a relationship, whatever it is in the terms of the male and female dating world, I want you to just drop your contact information by clicking the button in the description. And on that button every Wednesday, I take free 15-minute calls to see how I can help. You take care, and we'll talk soon.